Kitchen. Today we are making Johnny cakes. Johnny cake is a comfort food in the Virgin Islands, St. Croix to be exact. That's where I was born. And this recipe is something that I made quite often growing up, but I've never had to measure the recipe. So I posted this recipe on the Caribbean Recipes page on Facebook, and the response was quite overwhelming. So everyone asked, what I use to make the Johnny cakes, and I commented back. However, they were also asking for exact measurements, which I did not have. Typically when I make this, I just listen to my ancestors until they say stop, and that's how the product was produced. So today, it took me about 2 to 3 tries, but now I have an exact measurement recipe. So we're gonna start with some warm liquid. Now, part of this liquid is coconut milk and water. So we have 3/4 cup of coconut milk, which is equal to about 1 can. And this is the brand that I bought. Whatever brand you get at the convenience store will work just fine. I got this at Walmart. So to this mixture, we're gonna add 2/3 cup of water, and it should give you exactly 2.5 cups of liquid. So we're gonna pour this into our KitchenAid mixer bowl. And to this, we're gonna add 1 cup of sugar. I like my Johnny cakes to be sweet. If you have sugar restrictions or you don't want your Johnny cakes to be too sweet, you can alternate the amount of sugar that you use. You could possibly lessen it to 1 cup. But I personally like my Johnny cakes to taste sweet. And if you just want that sweet taste, 1 cup should be exactly enough. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix this for about 3 minutes or until all the sugar is incorporated. So we're just gonna add this to our mixer bowl. And I personally love the KitchenAid. It's awesome and it eliminates the amount of work that you have to do. So we're gonna mix this for about 3 minutes and then we'll check back in. So we're back. So our butter, our warm liquid, which is the coconut milk and water, has been mixing for about 5 minutes total. And now we're gonna get together our dry ingredients. So we're gonna start with 8 cups of flour sifted. And I am using the unbleached all-purpose King Arthur brand flour. I'm sure you can use the bleached flour as well. And I have not tried this with whole wheat flour, but I'm gonna work on a whole wheat recipe and I'll post that up as soon as I get it completed. So we're gonna sift 8 cups of flour in a bowl, and then we're gonna proceed to add the other ingredients. So I have 2 cups of flour already sifted in, and just make sure you don't lose count, because sometimes I lose count, then your recipe is gonna be off a little bit. So we have 8 cups of flour that's been sifted into a bowl, and to that we're gonna add 1/8 teaspoon of instant dry yeast, of baking powder, so after we've added the 8 cups of flour, baking powder. So after we've added the 8, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons, this is my teaspoon measurement, 2 teaspoons of salt. And then we're just gonna mix all of this in and add it to our liquid. Hi guys, so I've mixed all my dry ingredients together and we're gonna add it to our KitchenAid bowl mixer. And then we're gonna attach our dough hook and we're gonna mix this until all the flour is incorporated. I'll say about 5 minutes, but you'll know once the dough is not sticking to the side of the bowls. You'll know that it has been mixed in well. So we're just gonna go ahead and mix this and attach our KitchenAid dough hook. So I don't have to knead dough anymore. KitchenAid is awesome. Get one if you don't have one. And I'll show you in a later video, another video, how I do my couponing and how I get awesome deals on just about any household item. So we're gonna let this mix for about 5 minutes and then we're gonna come back and show you what it's gonna look like. and then we're gonna put it aside to rise and then we're gonna roll these Johnny cakes out and fry them. Guys, so our dough has been mixing it in our KitchenAid mixer for about 5 minutes with our dough hook, and I just took it out and placed it in a bowl. I gave it a few turns myself, a few kneading myself. So I just have a tablespoon of oil. I'm gonna take the oil and cover our dough with it, so as it rises, it doesn't crust. So I'm gonna bring the dough in a little bit closer so you can see what the dough is supposed to look like. And it smells wonderful, by the way. I can't wait to get these frying. So we're just gonna cover our dough and we're gonna allow this to rise for 20 minutes to a half an hour in a warm place. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil. You don't have to use a full tablespoon of oil. You just wanna make sure that the dough is covered, so as it rises, it doesn't get dry. So we're just gonna, I'm not even using I don't think I'm gonna use the whole amount of oil. So I'm just gonna cover this and allow this to rise for about 20 minutes. Maybe if you're in a rush, you can push it at 15, but 20 minutes. So I'm gonna take these out. Well, I'm gonna start rolling these in 20 minutes. And while the Johnny cake dough is rising, I'm gonna get started on our air fryer chicken wings, which is a family favorite. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm back. Our air fryer chicken wings is just about done, and our dough has been rising for a half an hour. I'm just gonna get my hands on some flour, and we're gonna roll. You can roll these in different size balls depending on how big you want your Johnny cakes to be. But I just usually make mine medium size, so about this size. So we're just gonna roll a few of these. About 6 should be able to fit in the frying pan because I'm using a large frying pan. We're just gonna roll out 6 of these in balls. This is where the prepping and the handwork come in. And then we're gonna roll them flat with a rolling pin. I'll show you how that goes. I roll these flat with a rolling pin. Now, if your balls are perfect circles, your Johnny cake are gonna be perfect circles. Like this one is not a perfect circle. So I just kind of play with it until I get it as perfect as possible. To me, the key is in getting your Johnny cakes to be perfect circles when you fry them is to make sure that when you roll them into balls that the balls are well incorporated and the dough is kneaded well. Like this is some most perfect, close to a perfect circle for me. So we're gonna roll these out and then we're gonna proceed to fry them in a frying pan. Now I don't have a thermometer to check the oil, so I just have a little tester Johnny cake right here. And I know once I put it in and it floats right back up, it's gonna be ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a tester in the oil. So I'm gonna put my tester Johnny cake into the oil. If it comes right back up, then the oil should be ready. And it looks like it's ready. So this is the first one that I'm frying as a test to make sure that the oil is ready. So we're just gonna go ahead and let that fry. It's still a little bit cold. It can get a little bit hotter. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and finish rolling the rest of our Johnny cakes out and allow the oil to get a little bit more hot. So you see the Johnny cake is rising. That's what I look for when I fry my Johnny cakes. I wanna see the Johnny cake rise as it's flying, frying. So we have those nice fluffy Johnny cakes. So we're just gonna flip this. The oil is still a little bit cold, so we're gonna give it about 5 more minutes to get hot. And this will be my taster Johnny cake as well. So we're gonna finish roll the rest of our Johnny cakes. Have been placed into the oil here. So we're just gonna wait for them to rise up a little bit. You wanna see these rising. The oil is still a little bit cold. It could have gotten a little hotter. So we're just gonna allow these some time to rise up. We're gonna flip them, flip. And That's the fluffiness that you want to see as you fry them. They would have risen up a little bit quicker, but you just have to adjust the temperature of the oil and bring it up a little bit. So here's our Johnny cakes frying in a pan. You're going to fry them until they're golden brown. So here we go. So the temperature's a little bit more hot now, so flip. So that's about what, 10 seconds on each side. Now I adjusted the temperature a little bit. It was a little too low. And clearly weren't rising up fast enough. So notice they're starting to get a little fluffy or puffy, as I call them, and that's what I look for in my Johnny cakes. So we're gonna take these out in a second, so to make sure that they're cooked thoroughly and brown on each side. So take these out in about 5 seconds here. So here we go, golden brown Johnny cakes. So we're just gonna take those out. They're all cooked. And that's how I make my Johnny cakes. So guys, this is our finished product. We have the air fryer chicken wings. I just put a little bit of cucumber and avocado on the plate for garnish. So we have our fluffy Johnny cakes, air fryer chicken wings, smells lovely, and cucumber and avocado to garnish. So this is going to be dinner tonight. And try this recipe. Please comment and let me know how it came out when you tried it at home.